Well, hello again. Welcome back to the garage. So for this video, I thought maybe I would actually introduce my pride and joy, my baby, my dirt bike. I freaking love this thing. It's like my most favorite thing that I own. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the details. It's a 2006 Kawasaki KX450f. It was the first year for the Kawasaki 450. It's also the only year that they had a 4-speed as opposed to the 5-speed that most motocross bikes run. It's also the lightest 450 that Kawasaki ever made, which for me definitely helps because I'm a pansy and I ride in the woods a lot and dump it over, and so it makes it easier to get it back up on two wheels when you do go down. And as anybody who rides dirt bikes in the woods knows, it's not a matter of if you go down, it's when you go down. But because it's a motocross bike, I've had to do a few things to it to make it a little bit more friendly in the woods, so it doesn't just completely beat the crap out of me the whole time. But basically, well, the main thing I did was soften the suspension as much as possible. The bike also has a lowering link down here for the rear shock. See that guy right there? Lowering link. One thing that people complained about with these bikes when they first came out was that the handling was a little funny. So that Pro Circuit lowering link helps get the back end settled down a little bit more, and then a little bit of adjustment within the triple tree of the front forks helps kind of settle down the front end as well. So, but then you also have the standard things like aftermarket exhaust, which I'm running the FMF Power Bomb head pipe, the Lex silencer, not real high dollar stuff as far as like the muffler goes, but definitely gets the job done, and it's loud as can be, which is awesome. Let's see here, what else? It's got upgraded brake rotors. Up here in the front, I got a stainless steel braided cable to help with brake feel. I'm going to be getting one for the rear here pretty soon. Running ASV levers, because I don't know why. I know they're a little pricey, but they're just my favorite. I love them. Got the ODI lock-on grips. The Rogues are really comfortable. Super comfortable. Best grips I've ever had. And here's what they look like. Very nice with the lock on. So that's neat. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, gripper seat with the ribs. Definite must. It seems like most factory seats, at least back in the day, were like smooth, fake leather kind of stuff, and you just slide right off the back end if you left it, especially if you got any kind of moisture on it. But the gripper seat, it's nice. It's very nice. I like it a lot. Let's see here. And to help protect the bike in the woods from rocks and stuff flying up and random sticks, I got the Lightspeed carbon fiber skid plate and water pump guard. Which those are nice. These guys right here. Nice, light, strong. I also got a carbon fiber guard for the rear caliper, which is not the same brand, but it's still pretty dope. I like it a lot. This guy right here. But yeah, and then the CR high bend Pro Taper handlebars, because you get the handlebars up a little bit. It's a little bit more comfortable. You're not hunched over quite as much. It makes it to where you can ride through the woods a little bit longer. But yeah, so I got those. Got a radiator cap with a gauge in it so I can keep an eye on the temperatures. This guy right here. Also to make sure that she's not overheating and all that fun stuff. Which that was one of the main things. As far as getting it ready for the woods, just making sure that it doesn't overheat, because these bikes are designed to go fast and get a lot of airflow across the radiators. And so when you're in the woods, especially for me, trails that I don't know, I'm going slow. Taking it easy. don't want to come flying around a corner and find out that someone else is coming from the other direction, that kind of thing. So I try not to take it too quickly when I don't know the trails real well. But when you do that, bikes generally tend to heat up, and especially motocross bikes, they will overheat on you if you don't keep them moving. But things like the radiator cap, which is a higher pressure, engine ice, instead of just water, engine ice will help keep the bike cooler. The silicone hoses, which I got right here, these guys, they also help. They have the built-in Ys, where the factory ones were just a rubber hose with a metal or a plastic splitter. And by eliminating those, you increase the flow. So that and the silicone seems to dissipate the heat a little better than regular rubber. So those help. At some point, I plan on getting a Boysen supercooler water pump for it. That'll definitely help. And then I shouldn't have to worry about it overheating like ever. Let's see, what else we got? Got the IMS Pro Series pegs, because you definitely want to keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible. Those definitely help. They grab your boot and don't let go. And then just various billet aluminum anodized parts here and there. I run Kenda tires on this bike. Let's see here. This one is the Southwick 2. And then I believe in back I got the Schugel DC2, the dual compound. But these tires are usually pretty good and any kind of loose stuff. There's one place that I go to ride a lot, St. Joe's in Missouri. It's a lot of sand. So these tires are awesome for that. They still work pretty good in harder packed stuff, but for the most part, I don't really have any complaints at all about these tires, and the fact that they're about half the price of Dunlop definitely helps. Definitely helps a lot. But yeah. And then I just run a cheap Maxima Pro filter for the air filter. Nothing too expensive, because it's just going to get dirty and have to be replaced anyways. And I really don't like having to deal with cleaning and re-oiling them, the filters. I'd rather just pull it out, plop a new one in. And with them only being about $11 off eBay, not too bad. eBay is a lifesaver for anybody who rides a dirt bike, in all honesty. Either that or, well, I mean, I guess you could shop on Amazon too. Get most of the same stuff on Amazon. But for me, eBay makes it work. There's no way I could afford to pay retail for all this stuff that I've done to this bike. But in all actuality, I guess technically I've only got about $800 wrapped up in this bike. It's a long story. Traded off a little bike that I didn't have any money in, and got me the 450. But this thing was looking rough when I got it. Looked about as clapped out as a 450 could look. And, since it's a 17-year-old bike, it's not a big surprise. But now she looks better than she did when she was new. So, yeah. Check her out. Do a walk around. But yeah, so I do have a few things I'd still like to do to it at some point. I would like to maybe switch over the front forks to something a little bit newer. Get a new triple clamp, a billet Niken or X-Trig, something like that. But yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there's probably a few things that I've forgotten. Like I went down to a 110/90 rear tire. It's a little narrower than what comes on it. Usually it's a 120/80. But the 110 makes it to where the front end doesn't get as light. You don't lose the steering in the front end when you crack the throttle as bad. Now don't get me wrong, this thing will lift the front wheel like nobody's business. But it's not quite as bad. It doesn't push you through the turns quite as bad as it did with the 120. You get a little bit more wheel spin, but the trade-off is definitely worth it. So, But yeah, so that's my dirt bike. I love the crap out of it. Oh yeah, I guess basically the next course of action though with it is I'm gonna start swapping every bolt I possibly can over to titanium. It'll help drop some more weight. Because I mean, ultimately, between the aftermarket wheels that are Tusk, they're not anything real crazy, great or anything, but they've held up to everything I've thrown at them. But they're lighter than the factory wheels. And then, like, my aluminum chain wheel is lighter than factory. I don't know that the rotor is lighter than factory, but I do have titanium bolts holding it on, which are lighter. So overall, yeah. By the time it's all said and done, I'll probably maybe drop 3 or 4 pounds off the bike, which for a bike that only weighs 220 pounds from the factory is not bad at all. But all right, well, that's my quick intro of my dirt bike, my baby, my love. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like and hopefully subscribe. And be good to each other. Take care. Bye.